Hello, hello. Today we have a wonderful palette to share. Y'all, I found out the other day when I was using this that this actually came out 5 years ago. This collection came out 5 years ago. Now, that's not how old my palette is, as far as I know, because I actually found my palette at a TJ Maxx about 2 years ago, and I was able to get my palette for $12.99. Now, this was a Makeup Revolution Friends collab that they had done, and there was like, how would you call it, like different parts of the collection. So there was one that was like lobster themed, and then there was another one that was themed around, I think, is it like the door, the couch, a picture frame. I have never watched Friends. I know nothing about it. But this was my unicorn palette. I never thought I was going to be able to find this just because I have no connection to Friends, but I love lobsters. I love the shape of lobsters. I'm a lobster girl. I like to eat lobster. But also a lobster to me is a symbol for my husband, as I very teasingly, endearingly call him a lobster because when he stands in the sun, instead of tanning, he just turns red. But I say it to him with a lot of love, but still very like tongue-in-cheek, teasing him about it. But I really do love lobsters. I have socks with lobsters. I have shirts with lobsters. I have a collection, not a couple, a collection of lobster earrings. I really love just like the shape of lobster. So when I saw this online, I was actually watching someone doing their TJ Maxx haul, and they pulled out this palette. I didn't even know this palette existed until then. And it so happened a few weeks later, I saw it at my TJ Maxx, and I'm like, no freaking way. And I was so happy, and I finally pulled this out for this kind of Valentine's Day season, because I do believe that this palette and this collection with Makeup Revolution with Friends came out as kind of like a Valentine's Day kind of thing. Because I guess there's a part in the show where I think the character's name is Phoebe. I think she says like, oh my god, he's your lobster, he's your lobster. I don't know what that means. But I don't know if maybe lobsters mate for life. I don't know. I don't know but I guess it's like a whole like love story in the show and to do with lobsters. I know that I also have the turkey palette also from the Friends collection, and that is also really iconic, which I think again is, I think it's, the character's name is Phoebe, and she's wearing a turkey with sunglasses and a fez on her head. But I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know down below because I don't know anything about Friends. But I did pick this up, and of course, since this came out 5 years ago, you're not really going to find any pieces of this collection anymore. So at this point, this is almost more of a show and tell. I did look up some videos from 5 years ago when this palette came out. So you can see there, the plastic, and you can pull this out. And I was a bit surprised because I kept seeing pretty much almost everyone was doing these like red eyeshadow looks. And I was a bit confused because I was like, ugh, why is everyone doing the same red look? But this palette is a lot more red than you would think. I love the little detail of the red right there. There is a huge, huge mirror. We're going to remove that, remove the plastic. Let's do it this way. I'm going to show it off this way. There is a mirror in there. Big, nice big mirror. And then here are the shades. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to. I also realized that this really is a lot more red than you think it is. They have these tones in here, like this one over here, this one over here, this one over here, this one over here, that are almost more like muted reds, but there's also a bit of orange in here. So the looks in here definitely are a lot more warmer toned. And all the shimmers in here are not really shimmers as much as they are metallics. These are all metallic shimmers, which I do not mind. And of course I'm going to keep this palette. I love lobsters. And the formula in here is very, very good. It's very pigmented. I like the shimmer shades in here. And if this palette really is 5 years old, then honey, it's holding up well because that color still works very well. I really like these kind of, let's start swatching here. I really like these kind of blushy shades. I'm going to try my best to go around. I don't know if you noticed, but there are little lobsters, little lobster stamps in all the matte shades. So I don't want to disturb my little lobster friends. But I love a shade that is just this kind of blushed kind of shade. Let's go maybe into this orange one over here, and then we'll go into this one. So nicely pigmented, and then we can swatch all these. I think this one was, oh, this one over here. Let's get a little bit more right there. There we go. This orange. And then we have, this one is quite light. But I'm trying not to dig too much in there because I want to keep the stamp. But even that, like that light one, you can see that it shows up on my skin tone. It's a very orangey, red, pinky kind of palette with these kind of champagnes, white golds, gold kind of shades. We have a red over here. And there's like this purple shade in here that I was kind of confused why it was in here. But once I used it, I was like, oh, that's freaking beautiful. The shimmers in here, which I'm not afraid to go in these shimmers, are so freaking pretty. Oh my god. I don't even... And they look like they're almost kind of hard painting, but they were actually very, very easy to use on the eye. And they picked up on a brush, and I didn't have any problem. Oh my god, look at that purple! And they're all going to have this kind of metallic kind of color. Wow. Look at that! That is so pretty. Yeah, I really love this. I'm happy that it worked out because I would have been absolutely heartbroken. I don't know if I would have kept it if the shades in here were absolute trash. I really found that I really liked all these colors. It's like, for me, this is like neutral with a bit of color. And I do like that, and I think it is very pretty. This still holds up. If you find this unicorn palette, I feel like absolutely pick it up. It's definitely for me, and I loved it. I think it still holds up. Like I said, this has been sitting in my collection, my personal collection, for about the past 2 years. If you watch my recent past videos, I've had some palettes where I'm like, this has been sitting in my collection for the past 2 years and the colors don't work that well, and I don't know if it's because it's the actual shade or because I bought it 2-3 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? But these still work really well. This palette is quite big. It's quite big, so I don't know if it's necessarily super travel friendly. The pans are quite big. I think flat-wise, yes, but lengthwise, this might be too big. I don't know. Let me know down below if y'all remember this collection, this palette. From what I understand, I think there might have even been a small little Lobster palette that also came along with this. This collection also came with brushes. I actually have 2 sets of those brushes. It comes with a little Lobster bag, and it had 3 pink brushes in it with lobsters on top. Let me go grab those quickly. So here's the little Lobster bag. It's an eyeshadow bag. You may have seen this before, because I remember for a while, which, look at the freaking lobster. Oh my god, I love it. I have actually 2 sets of these, ended up giving taking the brushes out of one and then giving the bag to a friend. I kind of wish I had it now, because this is my version where they're completely unused, untouched, and they have little lobsters at the end as well. Those are little lobsters and they're freaking cute. I also have the lobster mirror, it's just this shape, and then this is the handle. The tail is the handle and the rest is the mirror. I also have that. I'm not going to pull that out because it's in a box, but I have been, whenever I see old pieces from this collection, which you occasionally can find still, but like I said, they're kind of unicorn items because this is a much older collection, but I really, really love it. I'm happy with what I have. I just wanted to do a quick kind of share with y'all video because I really do love lobsters, and just a reminder that you might have a Makeup Revolution palette already with pinks and reds and maybe some little bit more sparkly neutral looks. I know, last year I had on a whim kind of bought it was like the grease car. It was a Makeup Revolution grease car palette. It was really big and it was very pink, very red, and when I think of this palette I think of that one as well. So check your stash, you might find something really nice for this Valentine's Day.